Realtor, lender, lender, realtor, Dallas Fort Worth real estate.
And not the boring stuff.
All right. We want to talk about today, not all lenders are created equally.
Correct.
So this is going to be a video highlighting Cory and all of his glory. I'm just like ryming left to right.
Keep going. Keep going.
Cory and all of his glory in his industry. There's many situations right now that we're going through where it's like, I wish you would just gone with Cory because I wouldn't be having this issue, or the questions you have wouldn't be questions the day before closing. You know what I mean? And there's times that even though I've been in business 11 years, I have to text Cory about things if I don't know the ins and outs of real estate or in mortgage lending.
Yeah,
like I'm sure you don't know, like with real estate stuff, right?
So I tell you, like,
talk to Elena, right? I know. I asked you about one appraiser. You're like, I don't know.
Yeah, here it is.
I was like, right. So, anyways, okay, where do you want to start? Because we've had so many situations in the last 2 weeks where I'm like, I ask you. So we'll start with the most recent.
Okay.
We're supposed to have a closing. The lender docs, it is 10:30. We're supposed to close at 11 today. We were supposed to close 2 days ago. And the lender docs are still not out. What does that usually mean?
So, gosh, that can mean a lot of things.
Okay.
That's not good, first off.
Okay.
One of the things that I think really is getting people in trouble right now is obviously volume's down.
Correct.
Across the board, for the most part.
Yeah.
So you have these lenders that are getting these little leads in, or this, little nibble of something, and they're just throwing whatever they can and hoping it's it. Here's pre-approval. Here's whatever without actually getting docs and without doing their due diligence. So I think what happens is, these people get these random quotes up front. They're like, oh, this looks awesome. I'm going this way.
Mm-hmm.
They hadn't sent docs in. They hadn't done any of this stuff, right? So all of a sudden you get under contract because the lender's like, you're pre-approved. I need this.
Yeah.
And they start the process, but nothing is done up front, right? And I think, according to obviously having to delay closings, push closings back, and the lender continuously saying, oh, we're clear to close. Oh, like, we'll have docs soon. It's like, what he's doing in my mind, being a lender, is he is chasing last minute conditions.
Correct.
Trying to get things done that were not done up front.
Now, here's the issue though, because Savannah and I talked, we're like, was there something that we should have known? But really, there's not much that we would know. If you, the lender, tell us you're closing today.
Yep.
We're like, thank you, because it's really supposed to be a lender-realtor partnership. That's how we get you to closing successful. That's how we get you under contract. That's how we get you the deal while under contract. And that's how we get you to closing on time and successfully, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
So to me, and I guess you just spoil me that I'm like, hey, are we good to go? Or you text me updates and we also get email updates. Like when you just said about Todd, we're like, we got the clear to close or coming soon or whatever.
Yep.
Like, those are green flags from realtors. If you're either a realtor like myself or lenders, if you're a realtor like myself or you're a borrower, you want to have a lender that does that. It makes a difference. I'm sorry if your family member or your friend or your friend's lender has been in the business 20 years and you don't want to hurt their feelings and you want to use them, but it makes a huge difference.
It does.
In your home buying experience. And it makes less of a headache for the realtor.
Yeah. And I think that's, lenders have a pretty bad rep.
Yeah.
Right. And I think it's because of situations like this. Yeah, damn people. And it is unfortunate because you do see a lot of people that just will sit online and be like, hey, I see this right. Or hey, Jose that closed, the other day.
Which I want to talk about that before the end of the video.
He, sent me a loan estimate and
he
was paying $11,000 in points.
Wait, let's say that again. Slowly, $11,000.
$11,000.
That's a lot of money.
He was paying like almost 2.5 points.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, look at this rate. This rate's great. I'm like, well, yeah, you're paying for it, right?
Yeah,
and
it's good,
like,
but I could do great.
Yeah. It's like, if you're willing to pay that much, I could bring it down way more.
Yeah.
But don't.
Yeah.
Because you're probably going to refinance this, right? So you don't want to pay too much points. And I just think, that's the kind of stuff that gives lenders a really bad name. Because you have these people that are transactional, they're not relational, they're sitting on a computer, they're, doing lead generation stuff, they're cold calling from, trigger leads and doing this stuff. And all of a sudden they get a deal in, nothing's done up front, and they're just throwing stuff out there. And that's why, I think it's so important to get everybody fully approved. Like, there's some times where it's like, hey, this variable income, I need to get a BOE done before I send you a pre-approval letter because it could
verification of employment.
Verification of employment, yes. Or, I see people that, just, hey, self-employed, here's a year tax return, I'll get you the next year, whatever. It's like, we want to have that stuff all done up front because it makes the experience so much better for you guys, for the buyers, for everybody.
And like these specific buyers, they already scheduled the plan to move in. And so now they had to deal with Veterans Day holiday, which they're veterans. Happy Veterans Day to them. Thank you for your service. And all veterans. But we had to negotiate a buyer's temporary lease back, which is not easy to do.
No.
And ironically, I've now done 2 in my career, and they both were this year. And you were involved. You were involved in the first one. But luckily, they let the buyers in early to move because they already scheduled everything, and they only had that one day off to do stuff. But they had to pay $300 out of pocket to the sellers to do that. So now they're paying more money on something that should have been done earlier.
Yeah, and they're lucky if they can get movers to agree, a day or two or whatever, because
exactly, movers are hard. So, and the one thing is, there's always going to be hiccups in a real estate transaction. There is no transaction. We were talking about this the other day. There's no transaction that is 100% smooth. There's so much that we do behind the scenes that you think that you don't know that's going on, that we make it smooth for you. But things do arise, and from professional, there's times he's had to give me bad news. And I just said, just let me know sooner than later so I can fix it. Right. And it's not his problem. It just happens, like a rate increase or something.
It's easy.
Yeah. Or a condition that has to be popped up, or a low appraisal. I mean, bad news is inevitable, but you have to let us know. Yeah. You have to let me know sooner than later so we can fix it on time. So you don't have these type of delays.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the other things is, it's going to sound maybe kind of weird saying this, but like people being desperate for business right now, right?
Yeah.
Is they're almost scared to say like, hey, this is what's going on right now. So they just sit and wait. And then all of a sudden, the day before closing, they're like, shit, I'm sorry. Like, I'm still chasing this stuff, or I didn't figure this out. So it's important, I think,
it's a red flag to get the clear to close on the day of closing.
Yeah, just communicate. And I think that is really the name of the game on everything. Yeah. Because communication is easy.
Yeah.
It's the easiest thing. We're on our phones all day long.
Even if you don't like talking on the phone, you can send a text.
And it's like, hey, like I'm on the line and I'm calling in 10 minutes, like whatever. It's easy to do, but just like update people, because if there's issues, that's how they get resolved. Or if it's like, hey, you as a lender, if you don't have everything situated the day before closing, don't try and say like, hey, we're closing. Like, hey, you know what? You might have to push it.
I want to be honest with something when I started working with you. At first, I thought it was super annoying that he wanted to have all the documents from everybody up front because it just made more work on the buyers, and there was pushback at first. But now that I've been doing business with him specifically, and only him really for a year, that is the best thing. That is the biggest green flag from a lender, because they want to make sure you won't get to closing and not be able to buy the house and lose your earnest money, lose your option fee, lose your inspection fee, all those things, because something happens, you can't qualify. Because there have been times where it's easy to pump out that letter and then you get nitty gritty of their file. You're like, oh.
And I've had people that are like, hey, like, why are you asking for all this? Or like, hey, this lender didn't require me to pull credit or do whatever. Like, they gave me a pre-approval letter. I'm like, I think, it's costing me business. But that's okay, because.
But I've had your back, because some of my clients were like, he wants all this stuff. And I told them specifically, I said, you need to know your numbers up front so there are no surprises. Because once we get under contract, it's very hard for me to backtrack and make something happen.
Yeah.
Like changing the numbers. If your costs are too high or your mortgage payment's too high, you're buying that house.
Exactly.
So, and you can't return it after you buy it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're
stuck with that payment. So I always tell people, even if you have phenomenal credit, there's no issues you qualifying, still get with him, get all your lenders or all your numbers in and all your documents, and know your exact numbers before you buy. That is my biggest advice.
And I think it's so beneficial too, like for the entire experience for people, to where it's like you get under contract, basically get your insurance set, and we're taking care of the rest for the most part, because when we know that, since we have gotten all of that stuff up front, we've done our due diligence, that when we submit that file into underwriting, we will be conditionally approved pretty much right away
Yeah.
with minimal
Do
conditions.
you know how nice it is to get his email conditionally approved 2 weeks before closing?
Yeah, like it's.
With Melinda's, how fast was that?
Oh yeah,
Like 5 days?
Yeah, we had a clear close in 5 days.
From going under contract 5 days later, conditionally approved, and we were
Yeah.
just sitting there for closing 3
And they
weeks
own
later.
houses, right? They just
Yeah.
like, hey, I need the executed contract for your departure home. I need these things that they got me right away. So like, as soon as that loan goes through an underwriting, and they get the clear close, they're like, wait, this is it? And so I think that is a lot more valuable, making the actual loan process a lot more seamless and easy for people than, hey, like, just give me a pay stub up front. I'm sending you pre-approval. I don't think that's the
It's
proper way
well
to do
worth
it.
your time. And to end the episode, I want to do a shout out to Cory. I just closed on a listing. He actually, the buyer he talked about earlier that he saved 11,000. The realtor, you're now on her list as a lender.
There we go. Good.
And she texted me after the closing, and she said that was the most seamless closing that she's had
Oh,
on the lending side.
Well,
I mean,
thank you
just for funding, of course.
sending them
Of course.
my way.
And so she said that once it funded, she's like, that's the fastest I've ever had a loan fund. So
Good. Yeah, we do a lot of the fundings that we do are pre-funded, right? So as soon as everything is done and uploaded, funds typically are released.
Yep.
It's I think so many people just chase a deal or see something online and chase things around, and really like this is a team game, right? The whole process. I mean, there's so many third parties that once you align yourself with people that how they work, how they communicate, and you're comfortable with them and you trust them, it makes everything so much easier.
Yep. All right. See you next episode.